think we are recording, so hopefully we are. If we're not, then this is going to be a wasted endeavor.
This is going to be a long one.
So here we go. Thank you all for joining us. This is the Cardo cast with me, David Cardoso, and today in the hot seat we have Lewis John.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for joining me. And as you can see, we are here at Select Studios. They've graciously allowed us to use the studio space, even though it's under lock and key still. We've been able to sneak in and have ourselves a little conversation. But obviously because we Select boys. So
Yeah, I mean, some might call it breaking and entering, but
no, we won't tell them that.
no, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. So like I said, I put the message out, and I've since I actually met you. I met you. When was it?
Would have been.
Was it 2019?
It was last year. It would have
year?
been around June time. Where are we now?
Yeah.
October. Yeah, June or July last year.
It was the
It was the protest.
The
wasn't
protest,
it?
yes. And we
in
went
central
for a
London.
little mission. And I was like, who's this guy? He's missioning along. He's got some good tunes. Who's this Lewis John? Just appeared out of nowhere.
Just sort of turned up.
Yeah. I was like, okay, cool. I got to get to know this guy better. Then I started listening to, I listened to your show because obviously you're a Tuesday boy.
Well, I mean, that's it. I mean, I got the show that day. I pestered Josh enough that day, and he was like, okay, we've got a show slot coming up in, well, it would have been a year ago this week that I started.
Wow. So
yeah.
a year with Select. Big ups to you.
We're a year deep, you know.
Nice.
Yeah, mad.
So it's been a pretty whirlwind year for you, because obviously I've seen like your release on Toolroom Records, Lighter came out.
Yeah.
And you've also finished your degree as well, Bachelor of Honors.
Yeah. I got a 2-1.
2-1.
I'm officially a fully qualified music producer, if that's even a thing. Mad year. And there was a month period back in, would have been July, where like in like the space of 3 weeks I finished my degree, moved house, changed jobs. It was all a bit mad. But we're still alive and breathing, and that's the main thing.
That's
you know?
epic. That's when you know the times of change. You know, like out of the old, in with the new, and onto a direction that you want to go.
Literally, yeah, it was exactly that.
Awesome. So I got to know, before I go into some of the questions as to you as a DJ, like where is Lewis John from? Where have you come from, and what you're about?
So I come from South Wales, the Rhondda Valleys. Big ups to Rhondda, big up the Trogi gang. I moved here being southeast London, so I've come from southwest Wales to southeast London back in 2018 to do my degree. And I've been, in terms of DJing, I've been DJing 10 years now. Learned to DJ through my school, actually. It was like an extracurricular activity in my school. I know, so I was little year 7 on the CDJ. Well, there were CDJ 800s at the time, so you'd burn off some CDs and bring them in.
Yeah, that's epic.
And just started producing then. 2013, got a copy of FL Studio, and
away you were.
There we are. Yeah, literally, what's that? 8 years, 8 years, 8.5 years.
But I love that. I love looking at sometimes the Facebook feed sends you up like 6 years ago what you were doing.
Oh yeah, I don't like it's hilarious because all of the it's no secret that when I started making music, I mean I was 13, and then going through my like teenage years, it was sort of like not so much clout, but it'd be like, okay, what chart song can I remix now that'll not specifically doing it to get likes on Facebook, but that always was
the underlying.
It was like a metric of success at that time. I mean, you know, I wasn't even thinking about record labels or anything like that. So it was they all still come up. It comes up like 6 years ago today, and it's like a cheesy Melbourne Bounce remix of I don't know, like Clean Bandit or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Oh, it's a nightmare.
Oh, that's awesome though. I mean, I wish I had the studio time to be able to, you know, you hear songs and you go, oh mate, that's missing just that little bit. I just want to add my little flavor to it, and I hold my hands up. I'm not there. I'm more DJ than producer.
Well, that's fair enough. I mean, I think DJing gets smacked down a lot these days. I think everyone just
everyone's like,
everyone just flies over the DJ bit, you know. There's a lot of shit DJs about.
Yeah.
I'll go on record and say there's a lot of shit DJs about, and they're getting big gigs, and I mean, because they produce.
Yeah.
Just because you're a good producer doesn't make you a good DJ.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. Yeah. Actually, I'd say that if you're a really good DJ,
your ear is better for
picking up
producing.
the production is a lot easier than. I mean, I grew up with a couple of producers. So I obviously started with a DJ and went into production. There was a boy who I grew up with, big up James Doherty. He doesn't do it anymore, but he won't mind me saying that, like, whereas he started on the production and went into DJing, he could never quite work out the layout of a tune, especially like an extended mix, because he didn't know how to DJ.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I say, it's vice versa. But yeah, it's mad. It's mad.
That's a pretty. I like the way you looked at that, because I see it from the crowd aspect, because being in a studio, and like there's so many different aspects to being a DJ. You can DJ at a festival where, you know, people are there to listen to music. So you have sort of a clean blank canvas.
Yeah, you got a free reign. You got a free reign there.
Whereas if you're doing a club, it's a bit more constrained. And then if you're doing a wedding or a birthday, it's even more constrained. So your technical ability is not about the music per se. It's about the people that are in front of you. So understanding that dynamic, I think has a good connection for being able to make good music.
Yeah, definitely. And funny, I did some strange gigs over the weekend, and like just you just find inspiration in some of the weirdest places. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be the newest Beatport #1 that you find inspiration from in production. Like I find inspiration in I remember when I was like just going through college, I was finding inspiration in a lot of like Pink Floyd tunes, some Steely Dan tunes. You know, stuff that's just like solidified bangers in their own right. And I mean bangers as in hits, Stonewall hits. Yeah. And timeless tunes. It doesn't matter what genre you're making. Like there's a formula, and and you know a good tune when you hear like a earworm. When it doesn't matter what genre it is, you can take inspiration from that. Yeah. And just like I say, I think a lot of genres right now, or not so much genres, but certain genres, and a lot of producers right now just like to chase what's just come out. I can make something that sounds like that. So let's all dive on that.
All of a sudden, gimme, then Rasputin comes
out. Yeah. That's there's different levels to it. But sometimes like the best inspiration you can find is in what you are enjoying right now, not what everyone else is enjoying. I've had 2 instances in my lifetime where I've kicked myself for not pushing an idea further. Yeah. And that was the first one, and this is no joke, and my mate in the story will back me up. My mate Aaron, I sent him a little demo I'd done, and the vocal was, and this would have been in 2017, right? And the vocal was, "Don't you know, pump it up." And I'd done this techie groover with our vocal in. Yeah. No joke. Denzel, "Pump It Up" is the sample. There you go. That's proof that I know what the original is, right? So, I sent it to him, and he was like, "It's cheesy as fuck." I was like, "You're right." So I deleted the project. I deleted it. I deleted the project, and then it gets better because he had just booked Endo. He was really on the Endo tip, and 6 months later, then obviously that tune
came up.
Double platinum.
But you know what most probably happened is that he then went to him and was like, "Hey mate, I got this tune."
Imagine.
And he's hearing "Pump It Up." And imagine
if he's your that edit that I did back then, and he's like, "Oh, great sample." Fuck, honest to God. But then the other one then is obviously one of my favorite albums is Asia by Steely Dan, and I was looking at one of the tunes on there called Black Cow. I was doing something with that. And then Alex Preston released Love You Better, which samples Peg. Yeah. But I don't get, part of it sort of goes, damn it. But the other part of it was like, this is good because
Well, I got one as well. What's his name? Is it from the Carpenters?
I love the Carpenters.
So you know it's getting it on.
Yeah.
So a mate of mine, Matt Odie, shout out to you. We actually back in the day he did that, but we didn't have like mad control. So he did Gigi D'Agostino, blah blah blah, which is just this fat beat, bop bop.
Yeah.
But then he filtered that in with the vocal before the vocal kicked in. And it was such a big tune, and I loved it. I was like, we got to work on this. On this. And then it just kind of fell down the wayside. And then literally like 4 years later, somebody took that vocal and made a tune and made a hit with it. And I was like, why?
Yeah,
why?
man. But like I say, you know, part of it is always going to do the... But what you should take is really...
your ears. You
should
in
be like,
line with what...
Yeah, you should be like, yeah. You should be like, next time I get an idea like that, I don't give a shit. Well, me personally now, I'm like, okay, me personally, I appreciate that Pump It Up tune massively. It's an absolute bit.
Yeah.
Would I want to be the guy who has to go and play that every weekend? Probably not. Probably not. You know,
so me in other words.
No, as in, I mean, you know, Endo. That's gonna be that's his tune. That's his Wonderwall. You know, and he's got to now that if people are off to go to his gigs, they want to hear that tune. In 10 years' time, he's still playing that tune. Song. So you've got to be careful what you release because, it's all fun and games having great success, but not everyone can be Eric Prydz. Not everyone can shake their first couple of big tunes. Yeah. I've seen Eric Prydz twice, and not once has he played Call on Me. Yeah. You know. Yeah. Not everyone can reimagine themselves in that way, and without getting all pretentious, artistic, blah blah blah. You know, you do leave a legacy behind in the art you create, and you don't want the art you create to be fast food sort of. Give me it, it's gone. And I know a lot of really good, really top producers who will release like 10 tracks in a year, and it's sort of like. Give me that one. Okay, give me the next one. Next one. This one. Whereas for me, I've released 3 tunes in the last 2 years. And I wouldn't have it any other way because I can still drop all 3 in a set now, and it still stands up. Yeah. Because it sounds like me. It doesn't sound like
the next person.
I was imitating something going on at the time. You know.
That's what I do like about your lighter track because it's got that. The vocal for one is just. It's a great vocal.
It's a Splice vocal.
And well, it works, but it's like, mate.
Big up Splice.
Big up Splice, yeah, for sure. We're all on the Splice.
Yeah, it was a find, an absolute find that.
But in the construction of your song, one thing that I struggle with is layering, is making those. You've got this beautiful ethereal kind of sound behind the. There's this beautiful ethereal sound that comes through, and like it's really warm, and I miss that in my sound. I have to get additional help on my tracks.
Yeah.
Because I don't get that kind of fullness and warmness.
I mean, warmness is such like a broad thing, and without getting on a mega technical tip, but you'd be surprised what some reverb does. On things, and it sounds like such a noob thing to say, but I'm just trying to think back to that project. Don't get me wrong, there's pads and stuff. There are some nice pads left and right, and there's stuff panning, whatever. But just that one layer, that arpeggiated synth line, is so fat. That
you didn't have to
cover
it up too much.
No, it didn't need a lot, and actually putting too much each side of it, sort of. Skewers away from the where you're at, you know. And there was like an epiphany I had when I was in like college, because I was surrounded by like band people in college. When I went to uni, it was totally different. You know, I went to Point Blank Music School. That's just DJs and producers and house music and drum and bass, and that's great, right? You know, great. You can end up being a bit sort of tunnel visioned in that. Whereas when I was in college, you're being exposed to music you've not heard from all genres. Yeah. And I just had this epiphany that I was like, up until like 1990, you had a guitar, bass, keyboard, and drums, and a singer. and these tunes all sound huge, like fat.
Yeah.
So they haven't got 80 channels going on.
Yeah.
They've got 10, 12 channels going on that are just mixed properly.
Yeah.
And mixed.
That is very true.
To them, it's about taking that one sound, and if that sound is good enough, you should be able to just. That should be it, you know. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, you have to layer things now and again, like bass lines when they're not sitting right. There's loads of stuff you can layer, but when you start layering everything, you can just get lost in things, especially if you're not if you're not really nailing down your mix as you go along. You can it just ends up sounding like a absolute brick wall of sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I get that, and then like I get to a point where I've got like layers. I think, this sounds right, and then I go, now I have to like do something to kind of curb back. So what's it called? I want to say daisy chain, side chain.
Yeah.
I want a side chain, and I struggle with side chaining. So
yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, it's so easy. You just push a button and it's it. I'm like, fuck off. It's hard. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I did see, shout outs to, I did a little session with Tim Cullen, and he actually helped me on my track. And
I just want to cut in here. Side chaining isn't easy. Loads of your side chain sounds like shit. Yeah. Anyway.
There you go. I mean,
people go, side chain is so easy. And then it's like, yes, I really like that. You know what I mean? It's just like, no. So loud and quiet. It's like, why is that pumping so much?
Exactly.
What's this? You know, like the track that comes to mind, like Avicii Levels. Yeah. That's how I learned to sidechain. I was like, what is this noise? What is this thing? That ducking noise.
Yeah.
And not everything needs to sound like Avicii Levels. You know, not everything needs to be ducking like fuck.
but he when I was with Tim, he showed me this Nicky Romero plugin.
I use that.
I
use that. Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of felt like you know that.
Yeah.
And he was just like, you just change that one, or you can use that one.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. That plugin. I use another plugin called Little Alter Boy, which alters. You can alter what's called the formant of a vocal or sound. So like you can make someone sound really like high pitched, but the same pitch. So you can change where it comes from in their throat, basically.
Oh wow!
I found when you use those two plugins together, it throws the timing of the sidechain off. Other than that, that plugin is great. However, it is good to understand how sidechain works in a standard compressor, because I use a lot of subtle sidechain in my mixes.
Well, you have to if you layer
it. Yeah, like, and that's it. I mean, people, especially in dance music, they just see sidechain as this thing, right? Just put the kick on there and let's just get everything ducking off the kick. When I'm like, well, no, because Lighter, for example, I'm sidechaining the vocal off the lead synth because they're in the same sort of area of the tune. So when she sings "In the Darkness I Feel Lighter," and that thing is like wah 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 wah, they're in the same place. So let's duck that off there, only slightly, and in those certain frequency bands. But otherwise, you're just gonna have no fucking room in the tune. Do you know what I mean? So sidechain's a really important one, and that Nicky Romero thing is a brilliant time saver. But I definitely recommend.
Because I was like, I don't know. He's like, well, if you struggle with it, then this plugin's for you. I was like, thank you.
Oh man, yeah. Like I say, as a time saver, and when it's a bit of a one-trick pony, because people use sidechain as a one-trick pony. Like I say, bouncing everything off the kick, absolutely brilliant, because it is just click, click. Turn that down a bit because it's ducking like mad, and then you're away. Okay. Like, yeah.
Oh, I should say at this point, Lighter is out now, available on all reputable music stores.
It's been out for a while.
But it's still hanging about because it sounds so good on the radio.
It's just trickled over 10K on Spotify. So
nice.
That's it's nice. Just you get a hunger for releases, especially on these big labels, and you can't get releases on these big labels.
So you said you're not going to be pushing for another release, but do you have one in the pipeline? Look at that cheeky girl.
Yeah. So we're just in the process of. There's one tune I've finished. I finished it just after. This is how long these things take, by the way. So we're in November now. It's the 1st of November today. 2nd of November today. I had this tune pretty much wrapped up 2 weeks after Creamfields, because I was so inspired by like the Steel Yard. It's a bit more tough. It's a bit more Toolroom tracksy. And it was sent off to them. They were like, oh yeah, it needs a different vocal on it. It's now November. We've done 3 different vocals on the tune, and they're still like, it just needs to be this. It just needs to be this. Hopefully it'll be out in January, like exclusive. Hopefully it'll be out in January. But
well, the fact that they are listening and asking for those tweaks means that they feel that there's something there.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, Toolroom specifically has always been the goal for me. There's the first house music I got into was all Toolroom Records stuff, and took me a while to work out what was going on. But then once it clicked,
half of my splice folders Mark Knight.
Yeah, I mean, I've got so much of that stuff, and it's all so good. But they've been so good to me since 2019 when I first met them all, and I've been really, really looked after by them because, I mean, I feel like there's sort of they know how much I appreciate what they do.
Yeah,
I think everyone appreciates what they do. They really are trendsetters, and they really are the ones to match.
Yeah,
and they've got an ethos, and that is, we want the best sounding music on our label. And if I send them something and they don't want it, I know, well, it's not
what they're looking for.
It's not up to par of what I want to be releasing.
Yeah.
You know, I share that ethos with them, and I think they obviously, I did the academy and stuff, and they really sorted me out, putting me on that academy. A big up Miles, if Miles watches this, you know, a big ups to the A&R team. Since doing that, I've developed a really strong relationship with everyone in the team, and it allows for that. I'm really blessed to be in that situation, because I remember going back to when I was in college, we're talking 2016, 2017, sending demos, and I'd get nothing back from them. Same as everyone else, you know, because they receive like 500 demos a day.
Easily.
So now to be in the situation where I can go, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And they'll be like, it's shit. But, you know, if it's shit, I want to know in 2 days, not 2 weeks.
Yeah. No, exactly. You're not sitting on it thinking, I've got something here.
But I did say that to him, you know. I've always been really vocal to him. Obviously, I've spoken to the A&R guys loads of times at events. Just, if you want to be signed to a big label and they put events on, go to the events. It is that simple. Go and find someone at the label. Yeah. You know, not everyone sat there glued to their email inbox 24/7.
People forget that. It's like, you want to be there, get out.
There are human beings that are in the situation, and they are just human beings, and you can go and speak to them and
go have a chat. Have a chat.
Yeah. But I did say to him, I was like, look, I seen you listen to this tune. Yeah, so I assume is a no. Can you just email me back with just the word no? Just the word no. And I'd rather that. I'd rather just receive the word no than not receive an email back.
Yeah.
Because I'll leave a tune in limbo for 3 months, thinking, they might respond to me next week. You know, they might just be getting back round to me. And that, I'm sat on so much music right now. I'm sat on about 40, 50 songs that are
just half kind of.
No.
Like proper done.
Like done.
Jeez,
Like I had a full album ready at the start of the year for a really important A&R meeting that never went ahead, and it's all just sat there. And by the time you send it to one label and wait for them to get back to you, you forget to send it off to another label, and you forget what labels to send it to.
And you know, did you actually send it to that label already? And it's like,
and that's the thing. It's like, I've sent stuff to this label, they don't get back to me. Can I be bothered to wait again? No. So that's why at the minute I'm just trying to stick with the labels that treat me how nicely I treat them.
Yeah.
And the radio's really helped with that as well. Obviously, it's sort of I scratch your back, you can scratch mine, you know, that sort of thing. As is the way.
It's just working in the industry. I mean, a good friend of mine, Teddy Gianni, he's a really good DJ, and I mean, he's put some stuff out. And I said to him, I was like, dude, how are you doing this? How are you getting on these lineups? And you know, I'm here, you know, because he's actually, funny enough, he's from the same town as me in South Africa.
Right, yeah.
And he's absolutely killing it at the moment. And I was like, how are you doing it? He's like, because I go to the venue, I go to the club, and I hound the manager, and I say, when you giving me a set? And I go there week on week, and I make the friends, and I put the time in. And I think so many DJs, they, like, even when now things are starting to come really nice for me with getting all the work that I'm getting, and they go, oh, how did you do that? It's like, mate, because I have slogged and I have worked and I've made myself available and I've put myself in the position to get that. You know, luck is about preparation and timing.
Yeah, what is that to say? What is luck is where
preparation and timing. You have to be at the right place. You have to be doing the right things. For them to be able to say, oh, we need somebody. Oh, are you available? There you are. You're in the vicinity. You're ready for action. You know, on the starting lineup. And other guys are like, oh, I can do it, but I just don't get the work. It's like, well, what were you doing Saturday night? Oh, I was with my mates.
Yeah, I was out and about.
Yeah, I was watching Netflix.
Don't get me wrong, right? It's a tricky one, especially around you in London, because if I could, I'd spend every waking hour of my weekend networking. However, most club nights are like 40 quid to get into.
Yeah.
Ticket swap is great to get in places cheap, but these big venues, they have a totally different.
Yeah.
It's not like, the biggest venues in Wales. You go in and the DJ's sort of got to walk through the crowd to get to the booth in a lot of these places. Yeah. So you have a chance to speak to these people, even if you ain't involved in the direct event. If you go Ministry of Sound, you ain't going to get anywhere near.
You boarded up again. Yeah, there's no access to any.
There's no access. You stay there. Unless you're pelting USBs into the booth, like from a distance. Listen to my fucking tunes.
Yeah.
Then you don't really stand much of a chance.
But no, I made myself indispensable. Made myself because I knew that I can't do it, and I have a family. I got bills to pay, so I can't be doing what Teddy's doing because he's got his business and he's got things sorted that he can go and do that.
Yeah,
and he can be out in those locations. I got to be home for my kids, and then I've got to also pay the bills and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I went around was, the equipment and hire route and saying, oh, well, what do you need? Being a problem solver was what, like they rang up and said, oh, we've got this party, but we don't have this and we don't have that. And we're thinking about having UVs. Like, I'll sort you out UV cannons. I'll sort you out a sound system.
Yeah.
Get it in there. And then, then I started saying, like, even with some of the smaller events, I was like, you're right, I'll do it, but my name needs to be on the bill. And then they're like, because I'm always doing it at bottom dollar for them anyway. So it's like, fine, you're getting a good price, so just put my name there. My name there. And then we'll start making shit happen. And then from there, people are like, who's this Cardoso guy?
Well, if you're being a helping hand, then you can't fault that, can you really? And like going back with the Toolroom thing, there were ways. This sounds really dodgy, but it really ain't. There were ways in which I could help them, as far as the academy was concerned. As someone sort of studying at a different competitor music school, that sort of ended up being my in. Other than the fact that I was just going to all these events all the time, and I like to think my tunes are alright as well.
For sure.
I could do all, and this is the other thing. That it comes. You could go around in circles all day on this, but you can do all those things. You can be a helping hand. You can be the nicest guy in the room. You can buy everyone drinks, and you can do whatever you want to do. However, when it comes to signing music, the music doesn't stand up. With these labels, it just doesn't stand up. Yeah. However, if it doesn't stand up, if you're being the helpful guy and you're being that guy that everyone really likes, just being a nice person, it's really not that hard. Then they're gonna give you the steps to
make it to that level.
They're gonna open the door and go, well, come on, we'll show you how it's done.
There's that saying, you are the sum total of the 5 people you hang around with.
Yeah.
So if you're hanging around with, really talented musicians and artists, you're going to elevate yourself to that level. If you want to be a millionaire, you have to hang around millionaires to have that mindset, to have that understanding.
Yeah.
Same thing with the music. You have to be there. You have to be, having those conversations and learning. I mean, luckily I go out and see some of these DJs playing, like Dan Healy, for example. He's a good mate of mine. And like, I watch him play, and he just absolutely kills it. And when I'm there, I'm watching him, and I was like, oh, he used the rewind, but he also used reverb at the same time.
Yeah.
And I literally was like,
yeah.
Okay. And
I'm there.
Yeah. And I've picked up a new little thing, so my back
it's hilarious.
Sounds epic now,
The guy who taught me to DJ, Martin Dibble, right? He's the one who did all the stuff in the schools, and I love watching him DJ.
Yeah.
I love watching him DJ. He's one of the best DJs you'll
Yeah.
see. Just makes it look fun.
Yeah.
A lot of DJs don't make DJing look
Yeah,
fun. They make it look hard work.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But
I got
he's
a
sort
shout
of like
out to all of those guys. All the AAA crews are exactly like that. I picked that up from them, where I used to be like, "Yeah, come on, I'm hitting it, and then I watched the video back, and I was like,
just look really
yeah,
tense.
I looked like I was struggling. And then James Parkey as well, one of the AAA boys, he was DJing, and then they had a shot of him DJing, and he's there going.
Well, that's it, isn't it? He looks like he's loving life, and
Yeah,
that's
he hits the mix, and everyone's going, "Yeah!" I'm like, motherfucker. Okay, I realize I got to make this look effortless, and you have to have the skill to make it look effortless.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's that,
People
but
just gotta have fun, man.
yeah,
you
I
know?
realized, like, okay, I'm making these mistakes, but it's only through hanging around these people
That you
that
realize.
I realize, okay.
Yeah.
okay.
At the same time, I don't really hang around with a lot of producers a lot of the time.
What's your cup of tea? What's your average, like, chill session?
Well, let me think. Game of FIFA. Tell you what my chill session is actually. You said chill. I was thinking like in the house, but actually, my ideal, like, obviously most people's ideal is going out to a rave. But I'm like, well, that's sort of work then, isn't it? Yeah. I love being in the pub with a pool table, jukebox, and just cheap pints.
Yeah.
I'm a man of simple pleasures, you know. I've been to some of the best raves and best events London has to offer. Yet my local pub and a pool table. It's just
Great nights, mate. Great
Oh.
nights. Yeah. So we've had to splice the video slightly thanks to some technical errors on my part. I apologize, but glad to have you back in the room. Here we are with Lewis John. Thank you for once again being here and having the chat.
Big ups to the dead battery.
Yes, big ups to the dead battery. I'm still figuring things out, but we're getting there. And the main thing, the reason why I've done the Cardo cast is because, like I said, I met you a year ago, and we may have like chatted here and there and stuff like that, but when do DJs actually get the opportunity to sit down and just chat shit?
Yeah, it's a good shout. I mean, unless you're actually in a green room or behind the decks and someone's screaming in your ear hole. Yeah, I mean, you don't really get a chance, do you?
Half conversations about things in the club, in the back of the club and stuff.
Yeah, and someone's always way too pissed to be having a conversation. Great fun.
Or just chewing your ear off.
Yeah, if they're not chewing their own face off, yeah.
That's it.
Christ.
Yeah. So I thought we have to just see about what you got coming up, and like back to what we were actually talking about was the use of 90s hip hop in modern music and the go between. Now I still think, like I say, I think artists should pay homage to the original, but there are those odd exceptions like Dennis Cruz.
Yeah. And I think that as long as there are, well, I mean, you know, release as much of that as you want as an artist, you know. I just think when DJs are like that is their thing and that's what they're known for.
Yeah,
that's not what I'd want to be known for.
No,
that's the main thing.
The go away from it would have to be the.
Stop sampling shit. No.
You don't want to be the McDonald's of music where you've just taken a good tune and remixed it for the sake of the remix because everyone's playing 90s at the moment. So you're going to remix a 90s tune just because it's 90s.
I'm going to do it again. Listen, you're Jax Jones, you bastard. Stop it! And Riton, don't start.
We love Booker Shade.
I like I Wanna Let You Go. What is the name of that song? No More Sleepless Nights? Is that what it's called?
Something like that, yeah.
I llove that tune. Why remake it 10 BPM slower with not a shitter vocal, but just not that vocal.
So
you know?
I like I say, I like remixes, but then you know what's also come out recently, and a flurry of the same song being remixed over and over. Sweet Female Attitude.
I bring you flowers.
Yeah. Literally, like 6 remixes came out.
I've
Sam
read it.
Divine did one, and I was like, oh, that's great. And then another one came out. I was like,
Yeah.
bro. And then that other band then decided to do the vocal.
I've only ever had this. I still play the Sam Divine one.
The Sam Divine, that works, man. That works. It's like, okay,
bop.
cool. And then, like, literally, I've heard 3 or 4 different versions come up with different vocals, and it's like, okay, you know, for me, the Sam Divine one pays homage to the original, but it's its own entity. It's its own song that stands on its own 2 feet. Yeah. Rather than the other remixes that come out, I'm not going to name, where they've literally just re-sang the vocal, redone the song, and put it out.
Strange. Strange.
What are you doing?
It's just strange. It's just strange activities by people.
People book me and they go, "Can we please have a garage set?" If I go and put one of those other songs instead of Sweet Female Attitude, they're gonna look at me like,
"What are you doing?
What are you doing?"
I mean, I think if you look at the music industry overall right now, like I said, I don't know if this made the cut before the battery died earlier, but I've joined a pool club, and in this pool club they just have MTV on. Standard MTV music channel.
So what do there's no music on now?
So as in this chart, as in like the charts is on.
Oh, so they actually have music on.
Yeah, the music is on in the background, and it's just top 40, and I'm like, wow. Wow. I don't want to be like the old man in the room that's like, oh, everything sounds the same on it. I don't think everything has sounded the same as much as it does right now. Like, it's unbelievable, and that's really dripping through into the underground music scene, where not so much everything sounds the same. Some genres are worse than others when it comes to that. But there's a hunger by artists to push boundaries, and there's no hunger from labels to push boundaries, and then radios.
But it's never. It's always media. Been that way. It's always been that way. It's only been artists that. Are willing to push that envelope.
And normally is the artists who've already been paid a serious amount of money, and they're going to put the music out wherever because people are going to listen to it. And that's fair enough. My problem is the artists in those positions are not willing to push the boundaries right now. You know what I mean? Like,
they're playing
the top artists are still playing it safe. And I've seen some of how these big labels work. I've seen how these people think and how the business side of the music business thinks, and it isn't very musical a lot of the time. It's just do it again. Do that again. That thing that's just made us loads of money.
Push the button again.
Do that again. Go in and change something and we'll release it again. It's like, oh, stop. Just, you know. But let's not get all pessimistic, eh?
But that's what I love about exactly what we're doing here, what Selector's doing, and what loads of other radio stations out there, the smaller ones, the independents, because I feel like it's because of those artists that do it for the love and the passion that then eventually takes it mainstream, because people don't want that mainstream, and it's only when the focus shifts and when people go, oh wait, there's something that they're doing that's actually awesome, that the attention goes to that avenue. And it's like people ask, you know, why are you doing this radio, and you know, why are you spending your time doing this when you could be making money doing else or something else? There's easier things to do than be an artist, you know.
Well, someone's got to do it.
Yeah, it's like people say, "Oh, you're gonna be a musician." So my parents like, "You're gonna be a DJ." So how are you gonna make money? No, being a DJ. But what's your job? You know.
Yeah, I mean, I've recently, since finishing my degree, gone fully self-employed. Yay! Anyway, I went to the job centre yesterday, universal credit meeting, all very boring stuff. But you've got this woman that's asking me the question. She's like, "So what do you do?" I'm like, "Music and audio services." Like, how can I
sound as posh as possible?
How can I say this in a way that you're not going to turn your nose up at me? Yeah. And it's fine. She can turn her nose up at me. It's fine. But it's just hilarious, just the way people look at you when you say you do something.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like that isn't the norm.
The norm.
And I guess, don't get me wrong, DJing at this point does feel like the norm. Since moving up to London, it feels like every man and his dog is a DJ.
yeah.
Literally,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah.
But you know, so you've got that whole thing, and then how? But then without sounding like big-headed, you sort of go, no. But I'm actually making money from it.
Yeah.
I'm actually. Can I?
Yeah. I still think about it. Like I go. So I've been now full time now, and like it's going on 10 years now, and I'm doing it as a DJ.
Yeah.
Like
and
else.
There's been many opportunity for me to do that, and I try and stay away from the corporate side of things as much as possible. I come on here as artist first, but also business has got to come into it third, if not second. And you've got to take these things. You don't know when your next meal is going to be a lot of the time.
But I would rather be doing this.
I'd still rather be doing this because before I went fully self-employed, obviously I was in uni, and during my time in uni, I worked behind a bar, and I'd be working 10-hour shifts for less money than what it was worth. It's just without getting political on it, it's all mad, isn't it? It's all mad. And I think that I'd rather be in a position where I'm skint doing this than skint doing a job 10 hours in a day.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Have you seen how much rent is around here? I'm going to be skint either way. I may as well be really skint and actually enjoying myself, You're here for a good time, not a long time and all that.
You don't know where tomorrow's going to take you. I think the best analogy I can do is, do you watch Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where he goes to Blitz and Chits. They go to the...
Yeah.
And then he's like, look, he's just threw away his social security card.
Yeah. What's the name of that game? That is it, isn't it?
It's like you can spend your whole life. He spent his whole life, and then he went back to the carpet shop and then died. Having a heart attack. And it's like... That's life, bro. What is your life gonna be? I'll happily die tomorrow knowing that I have made the choices that I've wanted to make in my life and lived the life that I've wanted to live, and go, okay, I'm not like David Guetta #1 in the world right now, but that doesn't bother me because I'm living my dream, so to speak.
Yeah, and for me, it's like when I grow up, I have kids or I have grandkids, I want to be able to tell them that I did some funny shit. My nan is a massive inspiration for me. She owned a pub for 20 years. She owned multiple pubs. And she just comes out with the funniest shit that I can't imagine someone coming out with in like a normal 9-to-5 corporate office job.
Yeah.
Just funny. Just hilarious shit comes out of her mouth all the time. And being in the music industry, some of the absolute pillocks you come up against is hilarious. It's so much fun, and that's part of the reason why I love it. I absolutely love it.
I love the industry. If you guys are watching up to this point, don't forget to go down below, smash that like button for us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Hit the dislike button if you want. Who gives a fuck, really?
Well, there is no dislike button.
It's going to be Facebook and YouTube though?
It's most probably going to be as any places I can put it, really.
So if there is a dislike button,
do it as well, because Facebook don't care. They're like, don't dislike it. They're like, that's still
that's
like
good
activity.
Straight to the top of everyone's feed.
Exactly, man.
Because anger breeds more screen time.
Well, yes, mate. Then we got to end on something contented. like vinyl isn't the be all and end all of DJing. I said it. Oh, that's a whole other debate right there.
I'm gonna say it. Hardware compressors ain't that special. There you go. There's the producer edition.
Amazing. Well, Lewis, thank you so much for coming on to the show today.
Thank you for having me. Hopefully I'll be back for another one at some point.
Definitely. We're gonna kick things off again now that things are slowed down a bit in terms of the DJing front from like all the festivals and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll be able to hit the studio again and start getting some more projects like this out, and things are starting to pick up with Select as well. Big up to Select, yes.
Big
and
up
hopefully I'll be able to say
tires.
Big or small, we fit them all. Yes. It's drummed into my head.
It is,
mate.
yeah. But it's right behind my bobble hat. Oh, they're up there. Yeah.
So big up to Select for allowing us into studio and filming this, and I'm looking forward to what 2022 is going to bring for us. Because
yeah, man.
I mean, I know myself, I've got some big things happening. We've got some big lineups with festivals. Glades of Glory 2 is going to be happening next year. We also in communication with Cafe Mambo for Mambo in the Park.
Yeah, nice.
Select, obviously, I'm in conversations with them so we can have a select, I want to call it a mixer, where all the DJs come and we have ourselves a little party.
That sounds like a nightmare. You know when you get to the party and there's just too many DJs?
Too many DJs.
Yeah.
A room with 60 DJs and only 2 decks.
It just, oh, God. I'm going to leave my USB in the house for that one.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
I'm going nowhere near the fucking decks. Thank you very much.
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to the future. And so what do you have coming up? Will you be playing in Anywhere Amazing soon?
Not really. Not really. This year has ended on a bit of a quiet one. I think I've got another release coming out. Confirmed there is another release coming out on Night Lapse's label. I did a remix for them back in 2020. So there's a track with Danny CW coming out with them. Sinister Sounds in the next couple of months. And if all goes well, there is another one coming out on Toolroom as well, early 2022. You can catch me playing on Select every Tuesday from 9 until 11 in the morning.
Starting your day off properly.
Techie Tuesday, what can I say? And also I'm doing my radio show up in the Ronda as well on a Friday night. The Digital Exposure House Party with my friend Martin Dibble. That's live FM across the valleys. And then, yeah, we got the Radio Cardiff show as well on a Monday night if you just haven't quite heard our voices enough, you know.
Nice. Well, your voice works so well on the radio, I gotta say, man. I love that.
You wouldn't think so, would you? Because, like, when I worked behind a bar, no one could understand what I was saying. So, it's
I want a can of Coke.
Yeah, literally, it's like... worked out quite well.
It's worked out well.
But yeah, hit me up on socials at Lewis John Music across the board, and chuck me a message. And if you've got any tunes that you want me to listen to, just send them over.
Bring it. Awesome. Thanks so much, guys.
Nice one. Cheers for having me.